Congratulations, class of 2018. You did it. Are you excited? Exciting times. What a great day to remember. Anyway, special thanks to Dean Davis, President Fitzgerald, and Provost Taylor, and to you, Jen. Thanks for your help. And to you, class of 2018, Usf'S School of Management, for inviting me here today to share this memorable moment of your life. This is the first day of the rest of your life. The University of San Francisco is the crown jewel of Jesuit schools. It's my crown jewel. It's your crown jewel. I remember the day when I was sitting right where you are today, thinking the future might hold, what the future might hold for me. Listening to our keynote speaker and feeling so empowered to do something different, to do something exciting. I'm here today to share a few pivotal moments in my life that took me to successful business. My journey, which I hope will inspire you to keep your minds open and your hearts open to whatever may come your way. Challenges, roadblocks, obstacles, and they're all risky, yet they are all opportunities for future success. My road was not easy. I encountered many bumps along the way, obstacles, and you too can expect roadblocks and disappointments. But be determined to rise above them, learn from them, take the high road, and stay focused. These are the challenges, the keys you will need in order to achieve a happy and fulfilling life. Just remember, you want to live forward, learn from the past, but plan for the future. Now I have but a few minutes to share with you several highlights of my life that altered my path and enabled me to surpass even my wildest dreams for success. Since a young girl, I had my heart set on becoming a nurse. I've always enjoyed caring for and helping people. So I thought nursing might be the right profession for me. In the spring of 1978, most of you probably weren't born then, I found myself standing in a long line of women trying to enter the nursing programs sponsored by the Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital. While waiting in that line, I learned the 5-year program, it was a 5-year program, there was a 5-year waiting list for that program. Just then, the director of the hospitality management program came out, pulled myself and a few friends aside saying, "We need women in this hospitality management program. It's a 2-year program." So, Santa Barbara has about 850 restaurants. It's the main industry there. I figured, geez, I understand that education is power. Was it nursing or hospitality management? While waiting in that line, I immediately thought, I'll never starve. I can enter this program, become a great chef, right? Or a manager, finish in 2 years, and then enter the nursing program sometime later. It turned out I loved the hospitality management, and that actually I was pretty good at it. Eventually, I became the director of nutrition at Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital, and I felt like if we could make restaurant quality food in a hospital, people might get well and go home early. I had no clue when accepting that job how to run a nutrition department. I hired all the best chefs I knew. We created a room service model, which was styled after hotel style service. This I know how to do. Into the hospital, we changed the name. At that time, it was a dietary department. We changed that name to the nutrition department. So, exciting times. And it was only after a few months Guess who checks into the hospital? Julia Child. Does everyone know who she is? Yeah. Well, you know, I had a good culinary reputation in Santa Barbara, and I'm like, oh no. Anyway, I was concerned it would damage my reputation, my culinary reputation. Luckily, my chef had worked previously with Julia on one of her dessert books. So we went to visit her, knocked on the door. Actually, I'm going to tell the story. And we saw these long legs. So there was, we said, knocked on the door and said, Julia, are you decent? And she said, as decent as I'll be for a hospital. She was amazing. She was nothing like I thought she was. But she was incredible. She told us about the food. We said, yes, Julia, that's why we're here. Then it was just about a year later she came back and she commented to me on how great the food and the service was. And it was completely different. I mean, it's amazing things that we did. It would take me hours to tell you, but it was just an amazing process to transform that. So we got so much press out of that, national press. And remember, this was hospital food. We got beautiful letters from people in the community. It was pretty incredible. So in this turn of events, I actually found myself pursuing my early dream of nursing people back to health. Well, exciting challenges still kept coming at me. Soon another opportunity came my way. Taking the big risk, Santa Barbara or San Francisco Bay Area. After receiving this national press for several years at college, I found myself being recruited to the Bay Area in 1989 with a startup food service management company. This was not an easy decision for me. I love Santa Barbara. So I flew up to the Bay Area 3 times before convincing myself that this was the next best step in my career. As a founding member of this new contract food service company, I grew the company, worked the Bay Area and the East Coast, developing programs, menus, hiring and training teams to assist in opening large universities and corporate accounts. Life was exciting. Then, an unexpected turn of events. It was the summer of 1996. I came home from my job one July afternoon to find my husband dead. In that moment, I became a single mother with a 4-year-old daughter and dealing with grief. You know, and I found one thing about that is that you can't go over it. You can't go under it. You have to go through it. Learn from it and learn about yourself. It happens to all of us. When you're facing the bottom of the pit, which we all face at some time in our lives, you must embrace failure and embarrassment. Learn what you can from it. We'll work through it. You will build inner character and inner strength you didn't know you had. You will learn empathy, validation, and most importantly, wisdom, and refuse to be discouraged. So I've been a rising star in that startup company, and now it seemed like I was no longer a rising star to the company that I helped build. I was now damaged goods. It was hard enough going through the grief after this happened. I was recovering from shock. I had to watch former peers being promoted over me, and that's when I realized this was a professional setback. And it was another form of grief for me. It was then I decided to expand my education, and I visited and interviewed several local universities and found USF was a right fit for me. After all, we know the Jesuits are the best educators in the world, right? I can tell you, sitting in class, dreaming of starting my own company with many of the same values of the Jesuits. Fairness for all, giving back, honesty, caring for the environment. Building a clean, fair food system in this country is crucial. Being a conscious capitalist. This is the way it should be. Our land, our environment, they are on loan from Mother Nature and God. Education about ocean pollution, pesticides in our foods, is in every American's best interest to understand. The rest of the world eats differently than we Americans do. They farm differently. They care for their livestock differently. We're in the dark about our food. The rest of the world is free to print the ingredients on the label. Americans are restrained by the Dark Act, passed by Congress. We, as a society, must be conscious of our choices and their effect on our future generations, our children, our family, our country, and the world. We must understand building long-term stakeholder value is more important than short-term returns, or, in simple words, a quick profit. Building long-term value is what makes a business stronger over the long run. I can tell you, attending USF is one of the best things I've done in my life. I gained the confidence and gleaned my leadership skills one step at a time. I became enlightened, so full of ideas and tenacity. And then it happened. In August of 2003, I struck out on my own, started my own company, no contracts, no employees, but with a vision of fresh, local, and honest food for the education and business industries in the Bay Area. We specialize in farm-to-table food, seasonal street food, from seasonal street food to upscale fine catering for executive briefing centers, corporations, and universities. I went to the SBA, Small Business Administration, borrowed money, mortgaged my home, and paid off that loan in 5 years on a net operating margin. Today, we are a women-minority food service management company with over 50 accounts in the Bay Area and one in Oklahoma City. We employ over 500 employees and managers. Our managed volume is over 50 million annually. We are a farm-to-table company, specializing in fresh local food, hiring and training people who otherwise we never had the opportunity to attend college. They have health insurance benefits that are affordable, and they have a retirement fund with a fun place to work. I now have the confidence, and I am free to be more of myself. Now that I have shared with you several turning points in my life, I want to share some great tools, some experiences that can enhance your future. I have found that there's a second half of vital education that should not be missed. This is the education that deals with attitude, people skills, and goal setting. These are tools for your toolbox. Attitude. In our company, we are more impressed by the candidate's attitude and personality than we are with an extensive resume. As John D. Rockefeller says, I'd much rather hire someone with a great attitude than someone with more degrees than a thermometer that has no clue. When executives are surveyed, most of them found that it was attitude and people skills that contributed to people's success more than technical knowledge. So, hire for attitude, train for technical knowledge. People skills. First, become genuinely interested in other people. Dale Carnegie says that people who achieve greatness and reach high levels of success are generally interested in other people. He says that people who cause the most misery are those who have no interest in anyone but themselves. You notice something wrong. Secondly, realize that people are as interested in you as you are in them. I find that kind of interesting. People are as interested in you as you are in them. In order to achieve great success in the least amount of time, show a lot of interest in people. Look for opportunities for you and others. The person who controls the conversation is not the person that's talking. It's the one asking the questions. So listen. Goal setting. Identify exactly what you want on paper. Develop a plan to get there and get started. This may seem very simplistic. However, most people don't function with a written personal plan, and they're often disappointed 5 years down the road. Write down where you want to live, what kind of job you want, perhaps the business you want to start, the family situation you desire, and the income that you want. I suggest you formulate that plan for how you want to live your life and how you want it to look in 10 years, possibly 5 years, possibly 10 years. So write it out and get started. And there's one more step that can help you reach great success. In a time when most communication is done by text and emails, I suggest sending out a few handwritten cards. This can be a big hit. It can make you look special. Just 1 or 2 lines, handwritten card note, could be more impactful than 2 paragraphs in an email. Send 2 or 3 out a week to anyone who's nice to you and watch what happens. As a leader, people will expect more from you. Take time for yourself. And if there's only one thing you remember for the next 10 years from today, is remember, give to yourself so you can give to others. It's expected. It's been my honor to be here with all of you today. Thank you.